Hello everyone, my name is Cesar Gameto. I'm making a somewhat rare appearance on this channel on camera because I want to do an experiment, but also to say thank you. I've recently received a lot of subscribers from that 4K Waifu 2X Superman upscale experiment I did back in February. Thank you very much. While I'm on the topic though, I do want to clear up a few things. Number one, I did not use a YouTube video to upscale the footage. It's from a DVD. Number two, if you actually want to go watch it in a way higher quality than what I was able to do, subscribe to DC Universe. They actually have full HD scans of the 35mm film prints from those shorts on their site. So if you want to see them in their highest quality, not upscaled, real film scans, go watch it on DC Universe. Full disclosure, I'm a Warner Media employee. I work for CNN, which is one of our sister companies. DC Universe is one of our sister companies. This is not an ad or anything like that. I just want you all to know that if you want to watch it in the highest quality, it would be on that service, not anyone's upscale. Okay, so speaking of upscaling, a lot of you are probably, who are familiar with the channel, know I've been doing a lot of experiments and stuff, like upscale one animation, upscale some live action, just to kind of see what it does. I actually even have a whole playlist comparing different upscalers like Waifu 2X and Topaz Labs Video Enhance AI, and the Premiere Default upscaler and the Netty upscaler and all those. But I wanted to do an experiment that I haven't been able to do until recently. So this right here is the Canon R5, and I love this camera. It's so far been great. It does exactly what I need, and it's wonderful. It is a 10-bit 4K, excuse me, one more time. It is a 4K 10-bit 422 shooter, and it also shoots amazing stills and has great autofocus, and it's pretty much the exact camera I wanted from Canon. But somewhat controversially, they've added another feature that nobody was really asking for, but actually turned out to be really, really useful. They put 8K 12-bit raw video, which is just super high quality, in a body that's less than $4,000. So, and I know there's a lot of controversy surrounding this camera right now. It doesn't apply to me because of the way I use it, but that 8K actually lets me do something. See, you might have heard of an experiment, and I'll leave the links down below. You might have heard of an experiment of a person recording their voice and then re-recording that recording about 1,000 times, or someone uploading a video to YouTube 1,000 times and seeing what the compression does. Even last year, the one and only MKBHD took an 8K video and uploaded it to YouTube 1,000 times, which is interesting to see the least. Again, all the links to all that stuff will be down below. But I wanted to do something different, kind of in the vein of what I've been doing lately. So I took an 8K video with that camera and went ahead and recorded myself. So some of the things that you're going to want to pay attention to: texture of my shirt, my beard especially, and some of the stuff in my background, which is not this background, it's a different background. Some of the text and stuff like that. And we'll talk about it later. But basically the idea was, what if I took that 8K super high quality video and downscaled it to the lowest that YouTube supports, 144p. Now it's not exact because it's a DCI frame, so it's actually more like 136p because it's a little wider. But either way, what if I took it all the way down to that and then used Video Enhance AI, probably the most well-known and most accessible video upscaler out there right now for most people. What if I used that and upscaled it all the way back to 8K? And that's what I did, or at least what I'm currently doing. Actually, right off screen is my computer, where I am actually doing that experiment, and I hope to have it done in the next few minutes. I'm standing in a room different from the one you're in, recording myself in 8K high resolution, which is the highest resolution that YouTube supports. I will then take this video and downscale it to 144p, the lowest that YouTube supports. From there, we will use a machine learning application called Topaz Labs Video Enhanced AI and upscale it 200% to 240p to 360p and so on and so forth until we reach 8K once again. Then you are going to be able to compare the results of that upscaling from the lowest resolution back to its original highest resolution. All right, so here we are. This is the original 8K video. We took that 12-bit RAW, did some very minor color correction just to make it look proper because it was shot in log. Sorry, this is the original video. This is the original video right here. And we went ahead and we, color corrected it and sent out two videos. One in full 8K resolution, the other in we'll call it 144p. And from there, instead of, by the way, instead of like uploading it to like YouTube and then downloading the 144p version, I actually wanted to give the upscaler a fighting chance. So we sent out the 144p video in ProRes 4x4, whatever it's called. So it's pretty high quality, like as high quality as I could make it in that small container size. And then we popped it into Video Enhanced AI. This is not the 144p video. We can bring that in real fast. Let me just close these. So this is the 144p video. I'm standing in a room really, really small. We'll go ahead and remove that so we can show you. We take this in and we go ahead and add, we are using the Thea fidelity and we're using the default, and we are sending out 16-bit TIFFs uncompressed, so that every time we upscale it, the upscaler has the highest quality to work with. And why Thea? Simple reason, I don't want to be here all week. And Thea and Artemis are both GPU accelerated so that they can take advantage of the GPU inside this iMac to go ahead and upscale relatively quickly compared to using Gaia, which is my personal favorite model, but it is not GPU supported on the Mac quite yet, so gotta wait on that one. But yeah, that's basically what we've been doing, and once we're done, we'll take a look together, and of course you'll be able to see it in the playlist down below. All right, so we're gonna, just so you guys can see it, this is the original 8K video. I can't even play it back in full 8K because this is a 5K iMac screen. So, but you can see I'm standing in a room. There's a lot of detail. I'm going to pause that. There's a lot of detail. So some of the things to look at, my beard especially. I think my beard is going to be doing the most interesting thing. The 8K does render way too much of my face, but while I would not be comfortable usually putting an 8K camera in someone's face, I did this for you for science. But things to pay attention to, definitely my beard. I think it's going to be doing the most interesting thing in 8K. You can obviously very much see like almost every individual little hair, the texture in my shirt. Also behind me, there are things like the 3 We Bare Bear dolls. There's the baby ball behind me, so you can see the faces. There's also there's a laser disc player behind me, and a Mad Max Fury Road poster behind me in that room. So you can probably take a look at the text and see what that does. Obviously the books to my right. Yeah, just pay attention to that stuff. Now that's 8K. We downscaled it to 144p. I'm standing in a room, and to blow that up, this is not the upscaler working. This is just this is, I believe, nearest neighbor or integer or something. This is not machine learning upscaling, but you can see like this is already a really difficult video. There's not, despite downsampling it, there's just not a lot of detail to work with. But as we go up, I'm standing in a room. So there's the 240p one. Also, by the way, in the video, I accidentally say the wrong number. I say like 200%, and then we're gonna go to 360 and 480. That's not correct. 200% from 240 would be 540. So sorry about that. But you can see that it's trying to repair the details that it's see. Obviously, it's just going to make waves out of my beard. So this is at 240. The text is just unreadable. It's not going to come back. The texture in my shirt, they're trying to put something in there. I don't think it knows what it is, but it knows that there's something there. So it's trying to do something with it. But of course, the extreme pixelation. I'm standing in a... This is really, for me, really interesting. So here is 540p. Because of the extreme blockiness and pixelation of that 140p stream, there's all these like cross patterns, but it is rounding out some stuff. Look, so my hands, for example, are rounded out properly. Obviously, my beard is doing something interesting. Because of all that macro blocking, I think it's thinking that it might be detail, so that you'll see all these streaks come straight down. And this is 1080p, which we just rendered. And it really looks like a water painting of me. It doesn't really look like anything, but you know, it's covering some stuff. I mean, like, it's still a face. You can still tell it's me. I think so far the thing it's probably doing the best with is that Mad Max poster behind me. Baby Ball still has a face, so that's pretty neat. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and finish up this experiment and see where we end up. 4K is next, followed by 8K. Hey, I'm back. So we've run into a limitation with the upscaler. So this isn't going to be a one-to-one experiment, but it'll be close enough. So unfortunately, because of the way we recorded in the highest quality, it's DCI framing, so it's a little wider. Unfortunately, the upscaler only goes up to the 16:9 version of 8K. So as you can see here, our original video is 8192 by 43020, and it can't go beyond the UHD version of 8K, which is 7680 by 4320. So that will be a slight limitation for our video, but it should still be close enough. The difference should still be negligible, I think, within the realm of margin of error. So we are going to go ahead and upscale the last 4K video up to 16:9 8K. So now there will be a bar on the top and the bottom of this particular video. But home stretch, we're almost there. As you can see, just taking a look at, this is the 4K version here. Very, very watercolory. There's just, it's doing its best to recover a lot of stuff, you know, and it looks very interesting in motion. I hope you guys find this as interesting as I do. We'll check back once the experiment is finally complete. I'm standing in a room different from the one you're in, recording myself in 8K high resolution, which is the highest resolution that YouTube supports. I will then take this video and downscale it to 144p, the lowest that YouTube supports. From there, we will use a machine learning application called Topaz Labs Video Enhanced AI and upscale it 200% to 240p to 360p, and so on and so forth until we reach 8K once again. Then you are going to be able to compare the results of that upscaling from the lowest resolution back to its original highest resolution. So we're back, and here is the final result. Just to remind you all, I'm going to bring up the 8K original here in the window, and as you can see, let me make the Premiere windows a lot bigger. Just as you can see, like, the detail is just gone. Like, you can't, you know, like, beard is gone. The marking on the wall behind me is actually very sharp now. Obviously, you can't read any of the text. You can't. Everything has just become a blob. Now, look, this test is a really, really unfair experiment towards the upscaler. Going from 144p all the way up to 8K is unreasonable for any upscaler. I just really wanted to see the results because I know that this upscaler, more so than any other upscaler, tends to guess and try to add detail in things. For a more fair comparison, I went ahead and did a 480p video. Now that 480p video looks like, oops, the 480p video looks like this, and you can see it's decent looking, looks fine. Upscaling from that, I haven't put the video together yet, but upscaling that back up to 4K, I didn't do 8K this time because it would take too long, but upscaling back to 4K results in, I think, a pretty good looking picture from what I saw in the upscaler. I mean, my beard still has hair in it. It's not a wavy thing. There's texture in my shirt again. Everything behind me is legible for the most part. I can read most of it, not all the books. The Laserdisc player still has some type that I can make out. It's a pretty good upscaler, all things considered. So this was a really, really unfair test. If you do want to see a more realistic scenario, like taking a 480p video and upscaling that to 4K, I'll also put that. That is also in the playlist, excuse me. But that basically wraps up this experiment. Here's the thing. I also want to leave this open source somewhat so that you guys can experiment. If you have your own upscaler, so if you want to try out Waifu 2X, or if you want to try out SESGRAN, I think that's how it's pronounced, because that's a lot of people keep telling me, try that one, try that one, try that one, and I never do because it's on Windows and I can't get it to work on the Mac, and I don't care enough to. Or if you want to try instant 4K, or if you want to try any of those things, I will, in the description down below, there will be the full 8K video original that you can try out yourself, as well as a 480p and a 144p if you really want to do the extreme experiment, and you can post your results. But that'll do it for me. I really hope you enjoyed this test. Please check out the other versions of this experiment down below. And with that, thank you very much for watching.